It's Sia with Black Petal Gardening, and I was challenged to do the tnoggettingtoknowyoutag tag challenge by Chelsea at Our Urban Homestead. And this sort of thing's a little bit outside of my comfort zone, so we'll see how it goes. But I do appreciate the opportunity to let you guys get to know me a little bit, and I've enjoyed watching the various videos from people who have already done the challenge. So let's get started. Okay, and I did write all these down because there's no way I was going to forget all 40 of these questions. So the first one is, do you have any pets? And as you can see, I definitely do have pets. We have 8 pets. We have 4 cats, one of which is little Miss Cece here. Her name is actually Cece because we couldn't decide whether we wanted to name her Cleo or Chloe. So Cece was born. And we have Athena. So we have 2 girls, and then we have Lupin and we have Percy. And Percy's short for Perseus, so 2 boy cats. We also have 4 dogs, 3 male dogs, 1 female dog. We've got Spotticus Rex, who we call Spotty. Not very original because he is spotted. And our oldest dog is Gus. Now, if you ask me, his full name is Augustus. If you ask Scott, his full name is Gustav. So that tends to end up being Gus Gus. Then we've got Murphy, and our girl is Nyx, Nyx, but we typically will call her Nixie or Noodle. So there you go. Yes. Let's see what's next. Am I in a relationship? Yes, I am. I have a partner. His name is Scott. We're engaged. We've been together for probably a million years. So we're house married. I'll put it that way. So I guess the short answer to that question is yes. Do I drink? I do on extremely rare occasions. I don't really like the taste of alcohol. It's really not something I gravitate to. And when I was younger, I was definitely the designated driver. I do not like to be out of control. So I think I've been drunk once in my life, and there's just, I don't know. Some people say it's an acquired taste. I have yet to be able to acquire it, and I seem to be fairly sensitive to it because I can usually tell when somebody has used like a white wine or red wine to cook with. There's always just that tinge of a taste, and it's not something that I'm very fond of. But I will say, if I do drink, I'll usually do a shot of Tawaka, or have a Midori Sour, or Black Opal, Long Island iced tea, and I know those are not, some of those are not insignificant types of drinks, but it's a very rare situation, and I do go for the more fruity, sweet types of things if I'm going to go that route. What is my faith? So I don't prescribe to any particular religion or faith. I was baptized, but my parents never required us to go to church or anything like that. I let me put it this way. I find a lot of the things that people preach or tout as being part of the religion that they are engaged in to not be how they live their lives. And so my faith is that someday, somehow, the people of the world will allow each other to live their own lives however they want, loving who they want to love, being who they want to be, believing what they want to believe, as long as it doesn't hurt somebody else. And, in my perfect world, where people put most of their energy is into being happy and healthy in their own lives and making sure that this one world that we have is being taken care of appropriately. So maybe someday. Hot dogs or hamburgers? I like both. I definitely prefer hamburgers because, I mean, you can do anything with a hamburger, and well, I suppose you could do a lot of things with a hot dog too, but I'm a fairly picky eater, so I don't, go all out for crazy things. So I'm gonna just say burger. My favorite meal. Okay, so if you're talking about like a one thing to eat, macaroni and cheese is my favorite. Something and a drink. My perfect meal would be a macaroni and cheese and a root beer float. If I was stuck on a deserted island and those are the only two things, if I could only pick two things to have, food-wise, that's what I'd pick. First drink in the morning. Well, I'm not much of a breakfast person, so it's really the only thing I drink in the morning is water, so I can take all the pills that I have to take. Because I am getting older and apparently my body is enjoying falling apart, so I need, medicinal augmentation to keep going. And so that's what I tend to drink first. I do not like coffee. I don't like tea. What I drink just in general will be water. I love juice. I love milk. And I like soda to an extent. Less so now than before when I was younger. Can you do 100 push-ups? How much time do I get? I know if I had 24 hours, I could definitely do 100 push-ups. If there's no time limit, I absolutely could get 100 push-ups done. If you want me to do 100 push-ups in like 30 minutes, I don't know if I could do that. I've been going to the gym somewhat regularly since October, but my upper body strength, it's not so bad when I'm like doing my pull-up things and my trapezoidy things. I don't know the official words. But I don't know. I might surprise myself and be able to do 100 push-ups in 30 minutes or so. But I can do them. I just can't give you a time frame. What is my favorite season? Oh, that one's tough. I mean, honestly, I love all seasons except for winter, but if I had to pick one over all the others, I think I would pick summer, and only because in Oregon, we do have a lot of rain, which I love, but the ability to enjoy all aspects of different areas that we like to visit and things like that, I think tend to be a little bit more accessible, and just an easier way to enjoy them if it's nice out and not raining. So summer is probably going to be the winner for that specific reason, but I do love spring and fall. Hobbies. I've got a million hobbies. I love to read. I enjoy hiking, camping. I like going out and doing photography. I'm not great at it, but I like doing it. Obviously gardening. I think gardening is a little bit more of a passion than a hobby. Once upon a time, I did jewelry. Like beaded jewelry, and then when I was selling it on Etsy, I learned quickly that I was very amateur and not necessarily going to be able to make things that people couldn't make themselves. So now I actually, because whenever I get into a hobby, I just go full bore. I go over the top and buy all the supplies, etc., and generally it'll last for about a year and a half, and then now I have all this stuff. But once I realized that I couldn't do beading and stuff to the extent that it made sense to continue to try and make it a business, I decided to start selling off my D-stash. So while in the past I have actually considered that a job and a business that I run, I've been trying to get rid of all my stuff. And so it's now kind of dwindled to a hobby sort of thing. What else? It's so cute, girl. Gosh, I know there's just a ton of things that I like to do, but I'll be honest, I've been very, very busy, so if it's not something I can tend to do at home, I haven't been doing it as much. But usually it's out things that I can do outside. Tattoos. I do not have any tattoos. Glasses. Yes, I absolutely need them. I tried doing contacts when I was younger. I think it was in high school when I first did it. I do not like touching my eyes, so that did not last very long. Phobias. I hate spiders. I like daddy long legs. I can deal with them in small quantities. Even at, a million of those things, I'm gonna freak out too. But just spiders in general, I'm not a fan, and not hugely a fan of snakes. I don't know if I'd freak out if I came across a snake or not, because I haven't really had that experience. Not really fond of heights. I can deal with them. I mean, I can be up high, but I get the little stomach swoopies. And flying is okay. It's not my favorite thing. But one that I've developed, because I don't remember having this issue when I was younger, is I don't like to be in a body of water where I cannot see the bottom. So if I'm on a boat or something like that, that's not a problem. But if I'm physically in the water, absolutely not. There are going to be sea creatures down there that are going to get me, and nope, not for me. I mean, it's so bad that when I play certain video games, which there you go, there's a hobby that I enjoy and I do regularly, that have like a water thing you have to go through, and that there's animals in there. I can't remember the name of the game, but there's one where you're on a desert island and you have to kind of build stuff up for that. But to get to different islands, if you don't make a boat, you have to swim. I have to close my eyes. I have to close my eyes and point my character in the direction and just hope nothing happens, because I cannot deal with the idea of something being in that water and seeing it. Nope, it's not for me. So, and that's only a game. Do I have any nicknames? Not really. My name's super short, Sia. So I consider extremely lazy to try and shorten it even more. But when I was a baby, apparently my grandpa used to call me Stinky or Stinker, because I guess my diapers were something to to be complained about. So, favorite candy, Three Musketeers, with Mambas as a second runner-up. Do I believe in ghosts? Oh gosh, I don't know. I've experienced things that keep me open to the possibility, but at the same time, I've never seen anything that I consider definitive evidence. I certainly believe in energy, and I know that, in science, energy or matter, maybe both, can neither be created nor destroyed. So when we pass on, I mean, there's more to a person than just their physical bones and flesh. There's the consciousness. Some people would say the soul. So I understand the body degrading and becoming part of the soil, etc., or how, whatever. Where does that go? That soul, that consciousness, that awareness. I don't know. And you've got things like entanglement theory and string theory and stuff at the such minute levels of science that, yeah, who knows how molecules decide to interact with one another and what they do. So I don't necessarily not believe in them, but I've yet to have a situation where it's been definitively proven that that ghosts do exist. Rain or snow? Rain. I like snow to look at. I think it makes for pretty views and pretty pictures, and I can be in it for short periods of time, but I hate being cold. I hate trying to drive in it. I am not good at driving in snow. People around me aren't good at driving in snow. Um, yeah, snow's not my favorite. Plus, it keeps breaking all of our trees when we have our snow and ice storms. So it's already on my list. All right, sweetie. Do I have any piercings? No. Oh, no, I do. I have just, standard one piercing hole in each ear. My age. I'm one of those people who doesn't care if people know how old I am. I am 46, and I will be 47 in a couple months. Fries or onion rings? I'm not really hugely fond of either. If I'm doing like a fast food sort of thing, then I'll probably go with fries because that's usually the standard. I have to be in a particular mood for onion rings because onions, just in and of themselves, not a favorite food of mine. But you get a hankering, and then a good onion ring is a good onion ring. So, do I have any kids? Yeah, we just talked about them as the first question. I have 8 of them, and they all have fur. My favorite color is yellow. Can I sing? So I think that's probably subjective. Do I sing? Yes. I have the ability to sing. I don't know that it necessarily sounds good to anybody but me, and I don't necessarily let that stop me from singing. But I do sing. I love to sing. I like to sing along. My favorite kind of music is the music that has lyrics that are easy to learn and sing along to. So it doesn't tend to matter the genre. I'm very eclectic for that. So I do like to sing. I don't know that others like to hear me sing. Can you whistle? Yes. I can't do the like. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I can do that a little bit. But that one, like when they, and it's like super piercing. I've always wanted to learn how to do that, but can't do it. Where was I born? Here in Oregon. I am a native-born Oregonian. Do I have any siblings? I have a half brother, an older half brother, and 2 younger sisters. Can I cook? Yeah, I can cook. I'm nothing spectacular, never gone to like a cooking school or chefing or anything like that, but I feel that pretty much most people can cook if they follow the recipe. If you have a recipe and you follow it, as a general rule, you're going to end up with what you're supposed to end up with. If you're paying attention, doing what they tell you to do. So I don't think cooking, I find cooking to be a very basic skill. People can take it up a notch and make it spectacular, but I do think it's a basic skill and fairly easy to master. And I do enjoy cooking. I will say that Scott does most of the cooking though in our family, and because he really enjoys it as well. So, can I swim? Yes, I love to swim. Obviously more in pools than in natural bodies these days. And actually, when I was younger, I used to swim competitively all the way up through high school. You wouldn't know it now, but I did used to swim competitively. Shower or bath? I like them both. Most of the time, it's a shower because I like to just stand under the water and think my thoughts, come up with out of ridiculous scenarios, what I would do if I win the lottery, and how I'd break down shower time is adventure time in my brain for me. City or nature? Well, I am a city girl. I've grown up in the city, but I love nature. If there was a way for us to afford to buy some land here in Oregon, and truly try and do a homestead, I've got such a yearning for that. But I'll be honest, and I know we're not that old, but I don't know if my body is up to the rigors of having a true homestead. I mean, a real homestead where you're doing the work yourself. You're not necessarily hiring people to do the work for you, where actually have, you know, the livestock and all of that. I'm afraid that I have too much of a romantic view or idea about that type of homestead life, and that I might not actually be up for the true rigors of it. Plus, you know, we both have very fulfilling and jobs that we enjoy. And I can't see how we would be able to do a real homestead along with the jobs that we have. It seems to me like it would take a fair amount of time and setup to have a homestead that is self-sustainable for you, like food, etc. wise, where you don't need to be bringing money in. so I don't know. Long story short is I love nature, but I do like the conveniences that a city can provide. If I had to pick one or the other, I probably would pick to be out in nature. Am I a good friend? No. I can recognize that I am not a good friend. I will give you the shirt off my back. I will do anything I can for you, but getting a hold of me to do that might be difficult because I do not like to leave my home. I don't like to go out. When people invite me to go do things, 99% of the time, after I've said yes, I regret it. And I'm just like, oh, why did I say I would do this? I'd rather just stay at home. So I'm not great at reaching out to people, texting back on a regular basis. I mean, Facebook is perfect for me because I can keep in touch with my friends from like high school and things like that, but I don't necessarily have to put a huge amount of effort into things. And I know that's a terrible, terrible way to go about things and things to say, but I'm being realistic. If you want to have a friend who's not high maintenance, I'm your gal, because I just, as I get older, I just don't like people very much. And I know that makes me sound like a terrible, terrible person, and maybe I am, but people are exhausting, and I try and be empathetic about things that people are going through, but in my experience, some people just seem to constantly be going through things, and so it drains you. And more and more, I've been thinking about, okay, what do I want to bring into my life? What do I want to be expending my energy on? And the dramas of trying to be the best friend that you can be to certain people, it's that give and take ratio, it's always out of whack. And so it's just easier to not put yourself out there. Now that said, one of the reasons why I decided to do this channel in the first place was because I recognize I'm very insular, now, and I'm very introverted, and it's not necessarily a great thing, and I probably should be reaching out and trying to, get to know people. And it's hard to make friends at an older age. And I struggle to even think of, well, where would you even meet these people? So I don't know. I'm going to say, again, I've rambled. I don't necessarily consider myself a good friend because, as a general rule, I'm not super fond of people and strangers. And you can't become a friend unless you decide to hang out and reach out to strangers. And so there you go. Any broken bones? I've broken a toe or two, and when I was younger, like in my early 20s, I got hit by a car. It was not my fault. And one of the injuries I had was I fractured my elbow. How many TVs do you have? We have 3 TVs in our house. 2 of them we actually use. One's in my craft room and was just there, to put a background noise while I was doing stuff in there. But I haven't used that in probably 6 years, so I don't know if it technically counts. I guess technically it counts, but we don't watch it. Worst pain ever. I am gonna say heartbreak, whether that's romantic heartbreak or familial heartbreak. You know, somebody who has um, done things to take advantage of you or done things that were hurtful. I'm gonna say heartbreak of one nature or another is most painful pain out there. Let's see. Can I dance? Again, I think that's kind of subjective, kind of like the singing. Um, I've got some rhythm. I haven't gone out dancing in forever, and I'm pretty sure my dancing would not hold up to today's dancing. And if anybody had any great expectations of what my abilities would be, we know that there are stereotypes out there. I think they'd be sadly sadly mistaken, but I do like to dance. I'm more of a swayer and, you know, bopping around to the music than, you know, doing elaborate kinds of movements or anything. But yeah, I can dance when I've got the urging. Camping or hotel? Camping. I love camping. That is actually one of our favorite things to go and do, but we haven't gone camping since we got our pets, especially the dogs, because 4 dogs is too many for us to be taking out and about, and I don't trust to have people up in my business, so I don't want anybody, you know, coming in to take care of them, and boarding them for even a few days is extremely expensive. So at least for right now, we don't do any camping. When the time comes and our life changes and our ability to go camping is there, we'll have to go and do it again and see, because I'll tell you, this body is not meant to lay on the ground, and even air mattresses are not necessarily enough because my knee and back pain with a regular mattress can be out of this world, and I can only imagine how my body would not enjoy being out in nature and the lack of comforts there these days. So we'll have to see about that. Are you weird? Yeah, I don't think there's any argument about that, but I will say I think everybody's weird. I don't think there is a true normal. There's absolutely going to be a lot of people who have a bunch of similarities, and maybe I guess you could consider that normal, but there's always a quirk. There's always something that's a little unusual about a person. That's what makes them unique and a little bit weird. And I embrace that weirdness. If people don't like it, how long have you been gardening? So I mean, as a kid, we had a little bit of a garden in our yard at the houses we grew up in, but it wasn't necessarily my garden. So that's more hey, go do the weeding directive from mom or something like that. So I'm gonna say since we bought this house and we had our own place to do stuff. Well, when we had an apartment, I think we also had like just a little bit of something for the patio, but 10 years, 11 years. My grandpa had a big, huge garden, and every year we would go during harvest time to get beans and cucumbers so we could do pickling. But we didn't do a lot to actually, you know, help the plants along throughout the season. We were there at the end to help with the harvest. If you could grow anything, what would it be? Oh, I'm gonna say citrus. Citrus and tropical fruits. And lastly, it's what zone am I in? I am in zone 8B. So there we go. Now you guys know a little bit more about me. I will say I tend to be a somewhat open book. If there's something else that you want to know about me, hey, drop the question in the comments, and as long as it doesn't violate my my internal get out of my business line, I'll be happy to answer it. But the next step for this is I am to pick 5 channels to extend this challenge to. And I did watch the original from this for the New Orleans gardener. She's the one that started this all, and she mentioned that it was kind of a way for newer channels to, put themselves out there and things like that. I don't know that everybody that I'm mentioning is truly a new channel, and I'll be honest, I don't know that many of the people I'm going to mention even know that I'm subscribed to them. I watch their videos because I enjoy them and like following along. So if you get called out on this, you can absolutely 100% ignore the fact that I've called you out. There is no directive where you have to do this. And if you're surprised and you're like, who the heck is this? Hi, I'm somebody that enjoys your channel. But the people that I am going to challenge are The Bull's Garden, Lasha's Homestead, Jay's Garden Journal, Faith Family Homestead, and My World is Gorgeous. So we'll see if any of them decide that this is something that they want to pursue. And in the meantime, thank you for taking some time to listen to me babble on about me. And I hope to see you again. So thanks, and have a great rest of your day.